you do a little nod when you click it.
I gotta make sure I click it.
Go live.
Are we live?
We're live.
Because I'm using this little touchpad, and I never know. I can push it down to click it, but that usually ends up moving the mouse somewhere that I don't want it to be, and it's a whole thing. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to start today's stream. Before I start building, I wanted to show something off, because if you've never read this book, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, I blame this book for the way I am today and the level of love that I have for Star Wars. It's literally an encyclopedia with like little entries for stuff like Lucazek and Latoth Kyles. Oh, that's Kyles Latoth. Adornian. He was associate director of the Astrographic Survey Institute. I checked this book out from the library over and over again, and I would read an entry like that. I would just turn to a random page, read an entry, and be like, well, I don't know what the Astrological Institute or whatever is. And then I'd turn to that, and I'd read that. It was Wikipedia before it existed.
It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
Kinda. Choose-your-own nerd knowledge book. Well, I haven't seen this book since I was a kid at the library, and one of my good friends who I've known since high school, we actually became like good friends in our senior year because of Revenge of the Sith, and we were both in the same class, and we were like, Star Wars, and like
we just Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. So he was cleaning out some of his old stuff. He was back at his parents' house cleaning out his old stuff, and he was like, hey, I found this, do you want it? And I was like, oh my god, yes. So thank you, Jason. I'm so happy to have this book again.
Have you not been able to find that book, or have you just not looked?
Just kind of forgot about it. Like, it's a book that was always in my head, and I think I've looked it up on Amazon before. I probably have looked at buying it again, but it was more for sentimental reasons, because this is so full of Legends stuff now that...
It came out in what year? 98?
Somewhere around there. No, it had to have been before that. I would guess closer to 96, like when I was starting to get into the books and everything. But it's more just something I want to have. I don't think I'm going to look at this every day, but I'm happy to have it for sentimental reasons. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I love this book.
Yeah, when you opened that, he goes, this is probably the reason why we have the channel.
Yep.
I was like, oh, well, tell me more.
Yeah.
It's literally set up like those old Britannica series encyclopedias. It's just a word and what it is, and then there's a couple of random pictures throughout it.
It's all like, and it's a thick book, and it's all before the prequels came out. Ooh, that actually makes me... I'm gonna look up Anakin Skywalker and see what it says about him. Before we knew what we know now. Anakin Skywalker, the father of Luke and Leia. He had strong force powers that his teacher Obi-Wan Kenobi helped him develop. Anakin Skywalker was one of the youngest warriors of the Clone Wars, fighting alongside such heroes as Kenobi and Bail Organa. He demonstrated an unusually high degree of flying and fighting talent. That's just from Obi-Wan's one line. Enhanced by his innate ability to tap into the Force, but as his Force talents developed, he was lured by Senator Palpatine and others to the dark side, which eventually seduced and consumed him. He became a powerful Dark Lord of the Sith, known as Darth Vader. After Palpatine declared himself Emperor, Vader joined him, turning into one of the Empire's chief instruments of galactic fear and terror. Only at the end of his life did Anakin reclaim his original identity to save his son's life at the cost of his own. He then became one with the Force.
That's all we really needed to know about him. Just kidding. Real quick, Gio Flores sent a super chat in. Thanks, Gio. Just wanted to say, hey, going out for Ant-Man Quantumania. Have a great night.
Enjoy Quantumania. I hope it's good. I have not... it's coming out, tomorrow? So we obviously haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. No plans as of right now to go see it at the theater, but I'm warming up to the idea. It feels... What was the last Marvel movie we saw in theaters? Was it...
Thor, I think.
Doctor Strange?
Oh, wait, yeah. Thor or Doctor Strange, whichever came out after.
Was it Doctor Strange?
I
Or am I
don't
thinking
remember.
about Spider-Man? Because Doctor Strange was in Spider-Man. I don't know. Anyways,
Sorry, I want to read one more entry and then I'll put this book away.
Okay.
Because I was like, wait, I wonder if this is before something specific changed.
wait,
So
we
this
should
is.
do an ASMR series where you just read this entire
I just read this
book.
book. Oh man. So going to the Owen and Beru Lars page, young Luke always called Beru and Owen Lars aunt and uncle, believing that they were his blood relatives. Ben Kenobi had turned to the Lars couple just after Luke was born and asked that they raise the child on Tatooine. I'm trying to find if it... Oh, it doesn't say anything about them being Obi-Wan's brother, or Owen being Obi-Wan's brother, because that was the original plan. But it does say that Owen and Beru were not Luke's blood relatives, which they were, eventually.
You know what I might do,
What might you do?
which could be fun? Just read one word at a time. Not one word. Like read one entry at a time on TikTok every day. I think I would learn a lot.
You might not be able to stop. You're probably going to read something and then you won't be able to wait until tomorrow. You'll be like, well, I have to know what this thing is. That's how it got me.
I could just pre-record it all. I couldn't stop. I think you're overestimating my desire to know. Overestimating my desire to know more Legends content. But I don't know.
It's interesting.
Let me know in the chat if that's something that you might follow me on TikTok for. Just a little fact a day that from this old Star Wars book. Do it. Yes. Okay. Maybe I will. Because we put out a lot of our shorts and stuff on the Star Wars Explained TikTok. I don't know what to do on mine.
Yeah, I mean,
I
we
don't
need
dance. I am not that funny on the spot. So, I don't know.
I think it's a good idea.
I guess I could put them as reels too on Instagram. A couple people said I don't TikTok or I'm too old for TikTok. I thought the same thing, and now I'm on TikTok way too much. But we've already got quite a few super chats in so far, so let me get started. Shaq Fu has the first 2 super chats. Do Bob Iger's comments about extraordinarily expensive content mean we'll get less weird experimental (parentheses but good) stuff like Star Wars Visions?
Well, so it's our Q&A question of the week already. That's our first topic for the Q&A this week. Although we more talked about the quote of, are we getting Star Wars movie news at Celebration? Because there was some mention of that in the Hollywood Reporter. But I don't know. Like, most of that article was focused on the MCU side of things. Most of those quotes were more like Marvel. Kevin Feige was like, we're going to dial back on some of the content that we're producing. And they didn't really talk about Star Wars except at one point, this insider that the article was referring to, which I'm always like, take that with a grain of salt. They said that Lucasfilm might do the opposite. Lucasfilm might ramp up more. They would still have to stick within, I actually have the quote written down. It was like, Lucasfilm might ramp up production more, but will have to abide by the same fiscal discipline as the rest of the company.
So, sticking to a budget.
Right. And I think they're more talking about live action stuff because, I mean, when you look at Andor, for example, Tony Gilroy talked about how grateful he was that Disney Plus like trusted this show, which seemed risky, and I don't even know. I think the viewership was hopefully more than they were expecting, but they had like a strong budget and they put out a very high quality show. I don't know that that will affect anything from Visions or like that side of thing.
Out of everything, like, I don't know that I would call Visions experimental. It's different. But I don't think something like Visions is going to break the bank as much as having Luke show up in more episodes of The Mandalorian.
With this, yeah. having to do all the deep fake and stuff.
Yeah. Just a for instance,
Well, I also think that, so Star Wars hasn't done as many shows as Marvel. Obviously, we're biased, and we're very excited to watch all of the Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
I've kept up with all of the Marvel stuff, but I am feeling some MCU fatigue, where I'm like, it's a lot to keep up with. Like, I'm already trying to keep up with everything Star Wars, and then to go and keep up with the several shows and movies they're putting out.
Yeah, like I'm enjoying most of the MCU like Disney Plus shows, but as far as the movies, we talked about this before, but the idea of power creep, now we're dealing with the multiverse and Kang, who is just like such a big bad character, I don't know how else to explain it, but
I mean, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, it just like the way I've been explained, it just seems like, okay, well, how do they get past that? How do they get out of this bucket of syrup?
That's the question, Molly. They need a bigger, badder villain.
It just feels too big now. Like, with the multiverse stuff, anything can happen, and I don't know. It makes me tired just thinking about it. But I'm getting older, so it's probably that.
It's just, I think we don't have the same level of interaction, engagement with the MCU. So it is kind of a thing where, like, people talk to us sometimes about, I'm feeling kind of burnt out on Star Wars. What should I do? And we're always like, just stop watching Star Wars for a while. And that's kind of how I feel about the MCU for me personally. I'm like, I'm just taking a step back. We didn't see Black Panther in theaters because I didn't really love Thor 4 or Doctor Strange. Like, they were fine. I enjoyed my time in the movies, but I wasn't like walking away going, wow.
Yeah, as a very casual MCU fan, I see those movies and I enjoy, laughing at the funny parts, getting the basics of what's going on. I don't dig too deep into those, and I don't know the original comic book stories for a lot of that stuff, so I'm not going to be like, well, they messed this up and they did this wrong.
Sure.
Very casual.
Oh, yeah, we just kind of watch it and forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's again, we're super biased here because Star Wars is our first love, but when we watch some of the Star Wars shows, like, I walk away and I'm like, I have to watch that again.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian and Andor specifically are things that engaged me the way that the MCU shows have not. So I think it probably would do the MCU some good to take a step back, like, let things breathe a little bit more.
Yeah.
The end.
I forgot we have this to do. This is a little package that we got from Johnny C Books and Comics, which I believe is in the chat. And I saw
Good.
I saw the name, so that reminded me to do this. And it was
Well, I mean, like, I wanted to wait for him anyway. So.
Yeah, the instructions were to open it on stream. So here we go.
I cut it open. I did not look inside. I just didn't want to have to struggle with tape and stuff and scissors and
Yeah. It says, Molly, read this note to Alex before handing him the contents of this box. This is both a gift and trivia. Okay. Alex, what three words are said by your favorite character right before this line? I'm right with you, Red 3.
Cover me, Porkins.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going in. Cover me, Porkins.
Yeah. Okay,
and then Porkins says, I'm right with you, Red 3.
Yeah. Enjoy, Johnny. Okay.
All right. Cryptic, but Biggs related, so interesting.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Oh, well.
Maybe we should have opened these earlier so that we could have put them in the fridge.
We'll have them next week.
Oh my god.
We'll have this next week. Blind Pig Brewing has a rye pale ale called Cover Me Porkins.
Hilo is very excited. That's so cool. Let me see. I'll bring one up to the camera so I can
I'm
show.
very excited to try that. If they were cold, I would crack one open right now.
A rye pale ale. That sounds really good. I'm gonna take one of these off so I can show it. Hilo, don't take my seat.
Thank you, Johnny C. I'm excited to try that. Maybe I'll try one tonight, but I'll definitely save one for tomorrow.
So, Blind Pig is from Illinois. That's where the brewing company is. There we go. Says, cover me, Perkins. It's got a little pig on it. Cute.
That's very fun.
Thanks, Johnny.
Yes, thank you so much. It's funny when people ask me Biggs trivia, like I get a special hit of anxiety because I'm like, don't miss this. You'll never hear the end of it.
They should drink these during a Star Wars Explained After Dark live stream. Well, if we ever do another one of those, then
I'm sure we will. That'll almost definitely happen when Survivor comes out, because that's my plan for that game, is to play it as fast as I can, to just record it all, get a review, do the story, and then I'm going to go back, really take my time with it on Grandmaster difficulty and stuff. And I think I'll probably play that late into the night. Right, Hilo?
well, I might be streaming it first.
You can get your own copy.
But if I'm doing a gaming stream, it has to be labeled After Dark, because I can't help but
Can't
curse.
not swear.
Hilo, can you stop? He's been sleeping all day because Alex has been reading all day, and anytime one of us reads all day, he just like sleeps on the couch next to us.
Sorry.
Okay. Shakfu has another super chat here. Kind of talked about this before. Does keeping up with all the trailers / release footage ever harm your enjoyment, since you can sometimes remember what's likely to happen next in the film?
I don't think so.
I don't think it does in this way. Like, sometimes remembering what's likely to happen next in the film. Maybe that happens for you. That doesn't happen for me, because
Not really.
a lot of times, even if I've seen stuff in trailers, I forget it so quickly that I'm not sitting there thinking of trailer footage that I've seen before and being like, oh, when are we going to see that again?
I'm trying to think of Andor, and I specifically remember, like, that kid has that bomb. He's gonna throw that bomb. And it didn't matter. The tension was still built so well in that series, and I was like, when's he gonna throw that bomb? Like, it almost made it worse.
Yeah.
And it's not like they hid the fact that he had a bomb. I'm trying to think of any time that I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. Maybe Chewbacca in The Rise of Skywalker, the fake out death, I was immediately like, no. Like, and it wasn't denial. I was like, we see him fighting in a Star Destroyer with Poe and Finn. Like, he's alive.
Yeah.
So I guess it can, but it usually doesn't. I try really hard to avoid spoilers and stuff, but even sometimes when I do know things, it doesn't mess with my enjoyment. Like watching The Last of Us, while they're doing a great job of keeping us on our toes, knowing what's going to happen because I've played the game so many times doesn't change. Again, sometimes it makes it worse. The 5th episode, I was like, this is terrible to watch, like in the best way. It was really pulling at my heartstrings, and I knew what was going to happen the whole time.
Yeah. If anything, usually the only time something that we do harms our enjoyment of something is like, I don't even want to say it harms our enjoyment, but if we just are feeling burnt out because of all the reading of the books, the comics, the shows, the live stream, like, I'm excited for March, obviously, but March is also going to be super busy, so hopefully we don't get too burnt out.
It's going to be like, it's gonna be stressful, but a fun kind of stressful. And then, like, to add celebration on top of that, I'm like, having an international trip in the middle of The Mandalorian is stressful, but it's also like invigorating. I kind of
can't wait to go to London.
I kind of thrive off of it. And then when it's all over, I'm gonna be like, oh, we did it. But I'll feel like I really accomplished something.
But thank you for those 2 super chats. Real quick, since we brought up London, I saw this in the chat from 10 Sketch. I'm going to Star Wars Celebration for the first time, but definitely don't have the money for autographs/photos, and now I'm scared I'm gonna have nothing to do. Am I being silly, or is my buyer's remorse valid?
It's valid, I think. I do not spend a lot of time doing autographs and photos.
Wait, their buyer's remorse as in like going and having nothing to do?
If they're worried that buyer's remorse is like paying to do something and then regretting it. So I think they're saying they don't want to spend the money to do autographs and photos.
Oh, yeah. No, you'll have plenty to do. Because honestly, the autographs and photos are cool, but you end up standing in line for a long time. And the photos especially go by like that.
Yep.
Like, you go up, you say hi, they take a picture, next.
Yep.
It is so fast. And so with the autographs, you have maybe 30 seconds to a minute, so a little bit longer to have a little chit chat, especially if it's someone who
it depends on the person.
It depends on the person. And if someone doesn't have a huge line of people, they'll be up to chat a little bit more. But there's gonna be so many cool panels to go to, and like not just the big panels that have the lottery system where you might get in, might not get in. A lot of the smaller panels are really, really fun, and you can meet really cool people and have cool, fun conversations. And like, my favorite thing to do is just walking around the exhibit hall, looking at everything and like looking at all the toys and meeting other fans. It's a lot of fun, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
I got my picture and autograph with Garrick Hagan, and I did it with Donald Faison. Garrick Hagan, who plays Biggs, was like, walk right up to him, get the autograph, chat with him for a while, maybe weird him out by how much I love Biggs. And he's just like
oh, okay.
Really?
Right.
I was like, Biggs is my favorite. And he's like, huh. But he was so nice, and then remembered me when I went and got my picture with him later. So that was a blast. And if he's there this year, I'm gonna do it again.
Right, because you have like a very special
yeah.
attachment to that. Like, the only time I've ever wanted to do the photo op at Celebration, I mean, obviously I would love to meet people like Ewan McGregor, and like Billy D. Williams is gonna be there this year, Andy Serkis. It would be
Andy Serkis is tempting.
It would be so cool to meet them and take pictures with them, but not worth the money, in my opinion. The only time I thought it was worth the money was when Sarah Michelle Gellar was at the Orlando Celebration, because she did a voice for Rebels, and I was like, this is my only chance to meet her at a convention. There's not a Buffy convention anymore. I don't think there ever was, but like, she just does not do conventions anymore. So I saw her and that she would be there, and I was like, I gotta do it. Well, that was my chance.
I think that is the key, that if there's someone that you're like, I cannot pass up a chance to even just breathe the same air as this person briefly, then do it. I was going to bring up the Donald Faison one, because that one I waited in line for, and it was worth it. Like, I love Scrubs. I was like, kind of the same way that Sarah Michelle Gellar voiced a character in Star Wars, and now they're here, and like, I would never get a chance to meet him otherwise. So I did that, and I didn't regret that at all. But just more than the money, I would almost weigh your time, because I was in line for a while. So it's all about just, do you have a personal connection with that person? But if you don't do it, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
We didn't do any autographs or pictures in 2022. Like, what are years?
Yeah.
Last year, we did none of that, and we were exhausted every day. Like, there's plenty for you to do if you're feeling on the fence. It's always
Lots
fun
to
when
do.
we get close to celebration, and then we always get the "it's my first celebration. What do I do?" question. Like,
We did a video for that last year, like right before going to celebration. We put out a video of like what to expect. We might do another one.
I'm sure we will.
It'll probably be a lot of the same stuff, but we might need someone to walk us through what to expect for London.
That's true.
Because like we've never been to London, so
Sure, Maddie is
yeah.
ready and raring to give us all the advice.
Yeah. So I don't think it'll be that different, but just being in London, being overseas will feel a little bit different. So maybe we'll get some British experts to walk us through that. Okay, moving on. Let's go to Dan Ben and their next super chat. Opinion on comedy spoofs of Star Wars.
Love them.
I think they're funny. Like, obviously, I love the Robot Chicken ones.
Yep.
The Family Guy ones are fine. I was never, like, a big Family Guy fan to begin with, so I'm like, eh. We haven't watched the Phineas and Ferb ones yet. That will be our, what do they call it? Our white whale?
We'll do it at some. It's not even that long. It's like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We need to just sit down and do it, record a reaction to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Robot Chicken is my favorite because they did 3 full specials, and they are continuing to do the occasional skit in Star Wars in their normal show. They even did a Biggs joke once, so good job, Seth Green. But yeah, I love poking fun at Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best parts about being a fan is good-natured ribbing of the silly stuff, and a lot of it is silly, and embracing that I think is good.
Yeah, that's why I like the Robot Chicken ones so much, because the jokes that they make in those are jokes that serious nerds would make about Star Wars, and
Yes.
like Seth Green is a big Star Wars nerd, so I just really appreciate all the jokes in that specific one, especially because they're pulling people in like Yariel Poof.
Oh yeah,
Like,
so good.
it's great to see.
Oh, this is a council now.
Yeah, it's great to see jokes being made about these like side characters that casual fans like wouldn't even know the names of. But
Well, it's
yeah.
like it's good on 2 levels. It's funny because yeah, hardcore nerds are like, oh my god, it's Yarl Poof, and Yaddle has that funny line. But it's also funny because the way that the movies are, it's very much just like Mace and Yoda debating while 10 other people, occasionally Ki-Adi-Mundi chimes in, but mostly it's Mace and Yoda and then 10 people sitting there quietly.
Yeah.
So Yarl Poof being like, oh, you want to listen to our opinion now? It's very good.
A lot of people talking about Spaceballs in the chat too.
Oh, yeah.
That's another classic.
I haven't watched Spaceballs in forever.
I
but
haven't either.
I liked it a lot.
That would actually be a fun one to record a commentary
It's a good idea.
or reaction to, because I don't think I've seen it since I was little. Yeah, Oranges on Venus sent a super chat in and just said Spaceballs. Yes, definitely a good one.
That was my first Mel Brooks movie.
Mm.
And obviously I loved it. Oh, it's sticker time.
Stickers.
I have to find the stickers.
Lord Hosk has the next super chat. Are we bringing you to something?
Bringing. I don't know what to make of that.
I know. Usually it's are we
Keeping you.
keeping you from something? Are we bringing you? You're bringing us to the
Happiness.
internet and to happiness.
Um,
But I like that, keeping us on our toes. Thank you, Lord Hosk. Zach Nichols has the next one. Any guesses on what movies are going to be announced at Celebration? Oh, buddy.
okay, so now it's the true Q&A question of the week.
What's up, Pink Milk?
Hey, Pink Milk.
Is that just as big as the real Razor Crest? It might be once we're done with it. Someone earlier asked if we could pick it up and show what we've got so far.
I trust you.
Okay.
It's pretty sturdy right now. I actually got the other day a an acrylic stand for it that I have to build when it's over.
This is this how
Oh
long
God,
it's
you're just
gonna
gonna
be?
hold it off the table, huh?
Is this how long it's gonna be, or is it gonna get longer?
I think it's gonna be about that long. I think it's gonna get wider more than anything.
Yeah. It's big.
I forgot about the stickers and I don't know where I put them.
Are they up there? Alex just losing stickers.
I mean, they're not. Maybe you lost them. I don't know. You had them last.
All of them?
Yeah, they're all on one sheet, and I gave them to you. I don't think so. It's okay because they're just like carbonite stickers, so we can put them on at any time.
I want the stickers.
I want to find them. I don't know what I did with them.
Pink Milk said, if you drop it, it'll be just the current Razor Crest. You're right.
Sad.
Well, while you look for the stickers, okay.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Guesses for movies to be announced. I'm gonna guess that. Okay, who are the current people? Taika, Benioff and Weiss.
That got canceled. That got super canceled.
Okay, who else? Kevin Feige?
Yeah, Kevin Feige's got one. Patty Jenkins, Rogue One could be re-announced or reconfirmed or something. Damon Lindelof.
Yeah, Damon Lindelof is the name that I thought of first. So
That one's been thrown around the most recently.
I'm gonna guess that we get the announcement of his movie. Taika's was like the big front runner for a long time, but it sounds like maybe that could be being put on the back burner too. I don't know.
I don't care what I want something announced, and I want to have some actual details. I don't want just a confirmation of the rumor that Damon Lindelof is doing a movie, because I'll be like, we've heard this before.
You've burned us too many times, Star Wars news.
To be fair, Lucasfilm has not announced that, but still, I don't want to get. I want them to come out and be like, Damon Lindelof is doing a Star Wars movie. Here's what it's about. Here's when it takes place. Give us something concrete to hold on to.
I would enjoy for it to be about the Old Republic, but at this point, I'm like, are they just going to announce a movie about a time period that casual fans may not even know about?
I think the Old Republic has enough, I don't know, like not recognition to it.
Yeah.
It's something that is said in the movies. I think that the Old Republic would work. And I would prefer to go further into the past. I want to see lots of Jedi, lots of Sith. That's new and different for the films.
Yeah.
But I'll take anything at this point.
Kevin Steets in the chat said, do you think a High Republic movie to go with the Acolyte? That's also an option.
Sure. I would be excited about that.
Yeah,
as well.
Obviously we're big fans of the High Republic stuff. Very excited for the Acolyte. A movie in the era of the High Republic would be so cool. The Jedi are awesome. They have awesome outfits, awesome lightsabers that are different and cool. They have, what are they called? Vector ships?
Yeah, they're ships.
Their ships are really cool. It would make for such a cool movie.
And it's just a different aesthetic, which I'm excited to see in the Acolyte, the gold robes and stuff like that. So either of those, Old Republic, High Republic, I think would be great. They both have different aesthetics. They would both be different. Either we would have a lot of Sith as the enemies, or a High Republic movie could find... I don't think they would do the Nile. They could do something else, just in that time period, a threat that isn't as big. It's not galactic stakes, but it would still be cool.
Although I would love to see a live-action Marchion Ro.
Maybe.
Maybe. We shall see. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot to go off of right now. I don't think they're planning on doing anything post episode 9 quite yet, so...
Well, that's what the rumor is.
They could go anywhere. I mean, like, directly post 9? Like, about Rey?
Okay, the Damon Lindelof rumors are saying that it's going to be after episode 9. That's kind of all they've said about that.
If they brought out Daisy Ridley and John Boyega and Oscar Isaac, and we're like, we're doing... would they call it episode 10? No, probably not.
I hope not.
Whatever they call it, if they brought out those people, I would cry and pass out at the same time.
See, I'm like, I want to get away from the Skywalker saga. I want to get far away from it.
Yeah.
We spent so much time there. And so if they did something and it wasn't episode 10, I'd be like, okay, cool. But I think taking a break from this era that we're very familiar with and going Old Republic, that would be my preference.
Yeah, there's so many different directions they could go. It's hard to say, or it's hard to try to guess. But moving on, you didn't find the stickers?
No, I gave up.
I don't know where they would be. They're not in any of those up there?
No.
Well, all right. Darth Nicholas has the next super chat. I know I can't be the only one who assumed this, but I thought for sure The Crossing was going to be another crosshair-centric episode, LOL. Maybe this was a deliberate trick on the part of the writers?
I did think that as well, that if they're going to drop cross anywhere in the title, I'd be like, oh, is Crosshair going to pop up? But
I remember, last night I was like, what do you think the title was referring to? The Crossing. And like,
I'm not sure.
Could be a couple of different things, but I don't know that they meant for it to be, oh, I bet you were gonna expect Crosshair and it's not in this one. He did get a name drop at least, but...
No, I don't think they were trying to bait and switch anybody.
Is it under any of those books?
I already looked under them, but I'm looking again.
Okay.
Maybe I put it over here. I don't know.
Grogu is the most bankable bankable star Disney has right now. I would be surprised if he's not front and center in the next film.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Just because he's bankable doesn't mean they're gonna make him they're gonna put him in a movie. He's doing just fine on The Mandalorian. Honestly, like, he doesn't even have to be in the show anymore. They just slap his picture on stuff and people will buy it.
Like, I don't think that maybe Jon Favreau will be doing a movie. If it's a Mandalorian movie, obviously that would make sense, but I think Jon Favreau is going to hold on to Grogu as like his creation until he is done with The Mandalorian and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It was most likely pure coincidence. And it could just be like the crossing over of the halfway point of the show.
Yeah, maybe.
Go very literal with it. D. Tori has the next super chat. What are you guys drinking tonight? Well, later tonight we might be drinking these. But right now we are drinking, I forget the name of these, but it's a Belgian triple.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
I think it's from New Realm. It's a Belgian triple and it's delicious.
It's very good.
Jeannie from Tahini has the next one. No question, just a thank you for putting out so much quality content and for building a great community. I know March will be a lot of work for you guys, but I hope it will also be enjoyable. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, it's gonna be so fun. March is gonna be it's gonna be a lot of work, but I'm so excited for Mando to come back. Like, seeing these little bits and pieces that they've been putting out, Star Wars officially put that clip out today that we did a reaction for yesterday. I'm so excited for Mando stuff. Like, not just Grogu. Obviously, I'm excited for Grogu, but Bo-Katan looks awesome. Mandalore, like, we're going big.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. But yeah, whenever we talk about, like, oh, it's going to be busy and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's not really complaining. Like, it's still the best job.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the most fun kind of work, and it's always a long Wednesday when we wake up early to watch Mando and then talk about it all day, and then, like, we crash at the end. But it's fun, and it's always exciting because everyone gets online and they're talking about it. It's fun to read reactions all day. It's the best.
And, you know, I know a lot of people miss the Friday releases, and I do think it would be nice if we got kind of a mixture of release days for a lot of this content instead of everything coming out on Wednesdays. But with stuff coming out Wednesdays, we usually talk about it a lot and cover it a lot Wednesday and Thursday, and then by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we can kind of relax, enjoy our weekend, and then ramp back up for the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully Hilo didn't eat the stickers. I would be surprised. Usually he would leave like a trail of scraps if he ate something like that.
Yeah, he's not good at covering his tracks.
Guiguio has the next super chat. With the MCU slowing down their numbers of shows per year on Disney Plus, do you think Star Wars is bound to the same fate by 2024 or 2025?
Well, we kind of touched on this earlier, and we'll see what happens, but the same article in that Hollywood Reporter thing, the same article said that Lucasfilm is more likely to ramp up than slow down because they haven't been cranking out as many shows as the MCU has been.
Right.
Shows and movies. Like, I just, again, super biased, but I'm not feeling Star Wars burnout. I am feeling MCU burnout. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, casual MCU fan. So it, like, doesn't bug me to just say, all right, I'm gonna sit back from the MCU for a while.
Well, like, the MCU has shows and a bunch of movies out in theaters and on Disney Plus. So you're kind of getting it from both of those angles. Right now, we haven't had a Star Wars movie in quite a long time. We're just getting Disney Plus TV shows stuff. So we'll see. But I don't think so. I think they'll be able to space it out a little bit more. Because they saw how Solo performed when it released so quickly after another Star Wars movie, and it didn't do as well. So I think they know how to space at least the movies out.
I mean, the whole thing, like, the streaming model is so weird because I don't even know if Netflix is profitable now. I know that it at the very least, it took a long time for Netflix to become profitable. And Disney Plus created a very big subscriber base very quickly, but they're also cranking out a ton of content, not just Star Wars and MCU, but also like Willow and National Treasure and The Mighty Ducks, and which I did really like. I haven't watched the season 2 of The Mighty Ducks show, but I liked the first season. So I think that they're probably just realizing we are spending so much money making good quality content for like the shows for Star Wars and the MCU look great. So does Willow. So did the Mighty Ducks show. That, not that it needed a lot of effects, but they're just making a lot.
Yeah. We're gonna get, what is it, National Treasure?
That's out
2?
now.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's not one that I was.
Yeah, like I don't really care. And that another article came out kind of recently that was talking about how they're gonna really focus on Star Wars, the MCU, and Avatar, and like Pixar and Disney, the big franchises that they have, instead of going in on, they probably won't make the Mighty Ducks anymore, which is okay, but there are some things that Disney Plus has made where I'm like, huh, okay, like interesting choice, but whatever.
Bakey has the next super chat here. Thank you, Bakey. When I was a kid, I read the Essential Guide books all the time. I especially loved the Vehicles and Vessels books.
Those are along the same lines as the Star Wars Encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Love those books. I've
read some of those to like study for trivia competitions before, and they are really interesting. I remember when Force Awakens came out and the visual guide came out, and I was like flipping through it a lot and like taking notes and stuff just because I was like, this is so cool. They go into all these crazy details about all this stuff.
Those are slightly different
I know.
The Essential books were just, I don't know, I vividly remember those layouts of how there would be kind of it also looked like Wikipedia, honestly, of like a little call out box that had the basics, and then they would write text for all the details, and there'd be a cool picture and some of the stuff we've never seen pictures of that person or species or vehicle before. So that's my friend Chris owned all of them, so I would just read them down at his house.
Mark White has the next super chat here. Thank you, Mark. You gave me some recs that talk about droid rights a few weeks ago. Thanks again. I read Revelations. I was not expecting Sabe, Valance, Afra, Kira, and the Eye of the Webbish freaking Bog all at once.
Yeah, that comic is a lot.
The Eye of the Bog was in there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like giving Vader visions of things that may or may not happen. But yeah, one of them, it's something that the Han Solo comics are dealing with now, and that I think other comics will deal with, but there was, trying to remember the name of the droid, but it was a droid from the High Republic era that was a droid revolutionary.
That's cool.
Is that just supposed to balance there? Oh, I see. All right, I'm just talking to myself.
Gotta just talk it through.
Yeah.
Darth Nicholas has another super chat here. What are you hoping for in Star Wars Visions Volume 2? As much as I enjoyed Volume 1, I did feel it was a bit too Jedi, Sith, Force user centric, and I'm hoping Volume 2 gives non-Force users a chance to shine.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, is that just about every story was about Jedi and lightsabers and kyber crystals, which was cool. Like, I really liked seeing their take on everything. I'm trying to run through all 9. There's the duel, 2 Sith, lightsabers, Tatooine Rhapsody, Jedi in Hiding, still a Jedi story, but that one was probably the furthest removed. What was 3? I remember 4 is the Village Bride, Jedi, but also that one was really unique in its the Majina and its connection to the Force. 5, I don't remember what that was. 6 was T-Obi-Wan, I think, Jedi Droid. If Brian is still in the chat, I know he loves that one. 7 was Lop and Ocho, or the Elder, but Jedi and Sith. Lop and Ocho, Bunny Jedi. 9, Akakiri, had Jedi. Okay, so what was 3 and 5? Oh, I'm forgetting about the 9th Jedi. Yes, 3 was the twins.
Yeah.
And 5 was the 9th Jedi. So yeah, literally all of them had Jedi and lightsabers in them, which makes sense. Like, I think that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the samurai are very close to the Jedi, so it made sense that all of those stories were pretty similar. But yeah, I think for Vision Season 2, we could see bounty hunters. We could see farmers. I don't know, like, it'd be kind of cool to get a story about, like, Owen and Beru. and
Well,
like
see-
their potential, but they're just regular people, you know. Or ooh, what if we got a story about the mods on that would be cool.
That would actually be fun if they like gave justice to the mods and had them like be fast.
Yes. Oh my god.
Well, I think a lot of the stuff is going to be not related to things that we already know. Tatooine Rhapsody was maybe the only short that actually had recognizable characters. Boba Fett was in it, Jabba the Hutt, Tatooine. The Village Bride had connections to the Clone Wars, but for the most part, the rest of them were just... It's Star Wars-y. It's got lightsabers, but it's a different take.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting more of that, but I completely agree that I hope it's not all Jedi all the time.
I'm just thinking about what's the company that does Wallace and Gromit? Ardman.
Mm-hmm.
Theirs
I
is
almost
gonna
called it Gromit and Wallace again.
Gromit and Wallace, yeah. Theirs is gonna be called I Am Your Mother, and it would be cool if that story was about not a Jedi per se, but a Jedi's mother.
That's actually a great idea. Like someone that had to let their child go to become a Jedi.
Yeah.
That's
That
sad.
or just like the mother of a important character, but the story centers around the mother and what they do and what they've gone through. I would like to see something like that, because I feel like their story might have a little bit of humor in it. Maybe it's about Cyril's mom. What's her name? Edie Karn. Probably not.
I found another sticker and it's really bugging me. I'll look for them later. I shouldn't look for them now, but it's bugging me that I don't know
Gotta
where
be
I
in
put
that
them.
box somewhere.
There's a little Grogu sticker that we need.
Wait, where's the Grogu sticker?
Oh my god. And it says child on board in Arabesh. It's supposed to go on there. Which is on top of the weapons cabinet, weirdly.
Cute. Yeah, I'm super excited for Visions Season 2. Shaq Fu has the next super chat. Thanks for another one, Shaq Fu. Is Tom Bombadil the god of the Lord of the Rings universe in human form, or is he some other ancient being? This is an Alex question. But
No, this is an Ashton question.
Yeah, I guess so. I like that this came up, though.
I don't know.
You talk about Tom Bombadil, and I'll look for stickers.
Okay. I have no clue, and I've asked our friend Ashton, who, if you watched our show on our other channel, Explain It to Me, when Rings of Power was on. I've asked him about Tom Bombadil multiple times, and I still don't know really what the answer is, who he is. He's just like this immensely powerful, incorruptible being. But I don't know what he represents. He might just represent like the spirit of Middle-earth itself. I don't know that I would call him the god of Middle-earth, because that's Eru, right? It may have. That's a good thought. But I'm sorry. I wish I had a genuine answer, but I don't. I do not know who Tom Bombadil is.
Should he
But-
be in the show?
He can be, I'm sure. I don't know if he will be. I would love for him to be. One of my favorite cosplays that I saw at Dragon Con this past year was it was Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. It's like, I may have put it on the bookcase somewhere. I don't know. I'm trying to, the last stickers we put on were those. I think you hid the stickers.
What? That's my only job.
You had them last.
No, you only hand them to me when...
I give you the whole sheet and I say, I need this sticker.
Wait. I found them.
Hey! Good job. Okay. Well done. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we had that Pirate's Price book out.
Uh-huh.
Right, okay. So this baby on board sticker
Bebby.
Bebby on, but where are Bebe's chambers?
Bebe.
Put that on that black square.
Okay.
That's what I get for leaving my office a mess. All right, let me see which side the carbonite pictures go on.
Oranges on Venus has the next super chat. Speaking of gaming, why is there no Star Wars MOBA equivalent to Wild Rift?
I don't know what Wild Rift is.
What's a MOBA?
I don't know. Like, I know I've played a MOBA. I don't know how to describe them. Heroes of the Storm is a MOBA. I think.
I put that crooked.
Oh no.
That's okay.
You have one job.
The baby will forgive me.
Put both carbonite images on those.
These?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know what a MOBA is exactly. I know there are lanes. Is Overwatch a MOBA?
League of Legends.
Yeah, League of Legends. But like, I don't know what.
I don't know.
I don't know what makes a MOBA. I know there are heroes, and there are like minions that you can fight. I remember everyone talking about lanes when I played Heroes of the Storm with them, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Lanes?
Yeah. Like, because there are different avenues people can attack you from, so they'd be like, they're coming from the top lane, or the middle lane, or the bottom lane. And
I mean, I watched Arcane, but I don't know. Other than that, I don't know anything about League of Legends.
Yeah, that
multiplayer.
The show is not a MOBA.
Oh, multiplayer online battle arena.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Okay.
That's like Galaxy of Heroes, right?
I don't think so.
Or Hunters.
That's just a mobile game. Hunters might be a MOBA.
Hunters, yeah.
Hunters might be a MOBA. So I guess Overwatch does classify?
Yeah, Star Wars Hunters is a MOBA.
Okay.
Overwatch, I've seen you play.
Well, there you go. Star Wars does have a MOBA. It's called Star Wars Hunters, and
it's
maybe
not out
it'll
yet.
come out.
It's been talked about for quite a while at this point.
I remember they reached out to us last year before Celebration, and they were like, would you be willing to come by the booth and take a look at the game? And I was like, sure. And they were like, never mind.
Never mind, it's not ready yet.
I was like, oh, right.
It's not ready yet.
I'm not huge into those kinds of games. If my friends are playing them, like, I'll play Overwatch. But all I care about in Hunters is Utuni, the two Jawas that stand on each other's shoulders. Like, I'm into that. That's a funny character.
Alexander has the next super chat. I wish I could bring it up, but it's just a smiley face.
Oh.
Hi.
I'm gonna do the Mollie.
Face.
Your little. What's that from? You're always doing that, but I don't.
Because I do it when I'm being introduced on stuff.
But I mean, like, why?
Because it's me. Hi, it's me.
But who started doing that? Why did you start doing it?
I don't know.
Are you? Is that?
Because I don't know what to do with my hands.
Okay.
To be honest, I just.
It's not from anything. You just started to do it.
I think so.
Are you trying to make that happen?
No. It might be from something, but I think I started doing it on live streams and stuff because I didn't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just be like...
That's what I do. I'm here.
It just felt right at the time, and now it's a thing I do. Yeah, it's kawaii.
Okay.
Calixto, I think I said that right. Thanks for the next super chat. Do you know about the original Stormtrooper brewery in Oxfordshire near London? If not, I recommend that you look into it.
Never heard of that.
Original Stormtrooper brewery. Does that mean someone who played an original trilogy Stormtrooper has a brewery?
Oh, I hope it's the one that bumped his head.
He's like, I don't know about much anymore, but I know how to brew beer.
That kind of makes sense, actually, because a lot of they filmed it over in Britain, so a bunch of stormtroopers probably were over there, and maybe one of them started a pub. But no, I've never heard of that, and I am interested, and will look it up.
See you later, Johnny C. Books and Comics, and thank you again
thank you again.
our package. I'm very excited to
I'm gonna try that
our Porkins beer.
next week at the latest. We'll save one for next week for sure, and I'll probably have one before that.
Yeah, I'll have to add that to our list of things to look into for London.
We were talking about that.
We need to do that
yesterday. Of like, we're going out a few days early, and we need to figure out what we're gonna do while we're there. What to see.
What to see, who to see, how to see.
I know
it.
I want to see the Ted Lasso pub.
Yeah.
Which is another thing in March happening.
Oh, yeah, well, we're going at the end of March, but early April-ish. Darth Nicholas, thanks for another super chat. Remind me, will Celebration be your very first time in London? Also, do you plan on venturing outside of London and visiting other areas in the UK, perhaps the Andor locations? It will be our first time in London. I don't know how far out we're going to be exploring. We are staying in one of the hotels like near the convention during Celebration, but otherwise we'll be staying somewhere else, and so I don't know. We don't really have any plans for going too far away from London proper, but we'll see.
I know I want to go because it's near the convention. We got to go to Canary Wharf. That's just a tube stop, but they filmed some of Scarif there.
Oh.
The interior of the Scarif base. I'm like, we should at least see that.
Yeah. Jane said, is the Ted Lasso pub real? I thought it was a set. I think the pub is real.
I'm sure the inside is a set, but the outside, it's kind of like the Seinfeld diner.
Yeah.
Like you can go and see the outside, but I believe that little town, I forget what they call.
Didn't they...
Village? No.
Didn't they film like a interview at the pub? Or maybe that was still just a set. I don't know.
That could have just been the set, but I'm pretty sure at least the exterior
Maddie says the pub's real.
exists. Is it the interior and the exterior?
I don't know.
Anyway, I just wanted to go to that little area.
Surrey is next to London. Outside with the street Ted lives on is real.
There you go.
We'll probably just look up a bunch of little places like that and try to visit as many as we can.
We had a friend talking about going to London and just saying they just had fun exploring, and I'm sure we will too. There's a bunch of sites we want to see, but
yeah. We'll definitely try to do a meetup. We just don't...
Oh, yeah, for Celebration, yes.
At least one meetup. We just don't know any details about what we'll have to be doing while we're there. Like, we know we got on the HoloNet stage. We don't know when.
Yeah. Once we have, like, the show schedule, then we will start to figure out when we can do stuff.
Yeah. And once we do, we'll probably make a video and say where we'll be for all that stuff, but we'll definitely also tweet it, Instagram it, all that stuff.
All that stuff.
Scotty Heron has the next super chat. Thanks, Scotty. Do you think we'll get more Donald Faison, either as Hype or in a live action role? Big fan of him, Scrubs, the Scrubs podcast, and Hype's character.
I hope so, because I know how much he loves Star Wars. That's like, he's my white whale. I got to meet him, but when Star Wars Squadrons was out, I was listening to the Scrubs podcast, and Zach Braff was making fun of him because they were talking about hobbies and how Donald will go all in on a hobby really fast. And Zach was like, you're playing that new Star Wars game and you got like a chair and a joystick for it. And Donald was talking about how excited he was for it. And I was like, he plays Squadrons. So I reached out to some people and almost got an interview with him. And then
you should still try.
I should try again. It's been 3 years, I think. We had something scheduled and then he had something that got rescheduled and he had to go do it. And I was like, oh, so close.
He just had that big Super Bowl
so close.
Commercial.
Yeah, I was excited because I've been on the back of someone who was in the Super Bowl, technically. So it's pretty cool.
He wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was. We were watching the Super Bowl and there he was.
He was on the TV while the Super Bowl was on.
He was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I also hope that we get him back. I'd love to see him in The Mandalorian, like, live action. That'd be cool.
Well, like, he has a relationship with Dave Filoni. I mean, that's how he came to be on Resistance. So there is a chance. Even if he just did another voice. But yeah, I loved Hype Faison. And I'm upset that Resistance never got any Funko Pops, or they got some action figures, but Hype didn't get one. The only Hype shirt I could find, because I wanted one before Celebration 2019, was like a child's shirt. And I was like,
that's the only Resistance shirt I found before that Celebration was a kid's shirt, and I still got it, and it fit, sort of. Let's see. Who we got? Darth Nicholas has another super chat. I will forever be grateful to Robot Chicken for confirming Max Rebo's survival before he appeared in the Book of Boba Fett. He deserved to survive Jabba's sail barge destruction the most, in my opinion. Agreed.
And that was one of the best reveals in the Lego Skywalker saga, was that his voice was very similar to the Robot Chicken voice.
Yeah.
I need you to build something. Can you handle this?
Bebe!
Bebe.
A tiny bebe. I love the little Lego Grogus because they're so tiny.
We have like 4 of them now.
They're so tiny.
Because we have this one, we have the other Razor Crest we got, we have the Brickheads came with one.
Y'all can't even see that. He's so tiny.
He's so little, you can't even see him.
He's so little. He gets to drive the ship. He's up here now.
I do want to announce I finished a bag, no extra pieces. I did it.
Congrats.
That's worth announcing, I think.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Orange is on Venus with another super chat. Mel Brooks is doing a new History of the World, title number 2.
That's true.
Really?
Did you ever see the first one?
I can't say that I have. Maybe, but I don't think so.
I remember watching that and really liking it. And then at the end, there's a joke that there will be a history part 2, but it is just a joke. And it was never going to happen. And now they're genuinely doing it.
That's smart. I like that.
So I'm intrigued. It looks a little... I don't know. Well, it's been a long time since I've seen the original. But the new one looks a little bit drunk history to me. If that makes sense. Like, they have a lot of stars coming in. They're all acting kind of silly. Which I'm like, that's not the vibe I remember from the first movie. But again, I haven't seen it since I was like 10. So I'm probably remembering it differently.
Garth McMurray, thanks for the super chat. Can Mollie blow up the Razor Crest with fireworks?
No. You can... The old one that we have. We have the UCS one that we're building now, and we built the smaller one. You can blow that one up.
Where is that one?
In my closet.
I almost don't want to just blow it up because I'm afraid that'll just put plastic pieces all over the yard.
Wherever we did it, yeah.
And I don't want to... Those will be there until the end of time. Like,
I'm sure Hilo would eat and poop them all out.
Yeah, it'll just be a vicious cycle of Hilo eating them and pooping them. But I would happily drop it indoors in a controlled area and just see what happens. We'll see. Maybe for May 4th we'll do something crazy.
Oops.
Joel Davis, thanks for the next super chat. If we get post 9 content, I want that era to build off more naturally from episode 9, like the old post indoor books of the EU were compared to big time skip, like the Legacy, which I did not like.
So you'd want them to pick up sooner? Like, are we talking Truce at Bakura or...
compared
okay.
to the big time skip that the Legacy
I gotcha.
did.
Yeah, the Legacy of the Force comics jumped like hundreds of years into the future.
Right.
And the books were more like, let's pick up literally the Truce of Bakura starts the day after Return of the Jedi, and then you can just read those chronologically.
Bye, Jane. Everybody's going to see Ant-Man tonight.
See you, Jane.
I guess
It came out today. Well, tonight.
Yeah, there are Thursday showings.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this, so.
Well, we're doing this. Some people are more dedicated to Star Wars than others, I guess. Jane? Gio? Okay.
It's our job to be.
I think I actually would prefer a time jump.
I would be fine with a time jump for the next bit, but at some point I want a continuation. I want to know what Rey is up to.
I don't know if I would have thought this. No, I did say that before. But I really liked the Ninth Jedi in Star Wars Visions Volume 1, where it was like, let's just jump to some unknown time in the future and kind of have some flexibility. There's part of me that wants both. Like, I do want to see what does the New Republic do? Are they New Republic? What's the galaxy look like after? Yeah. So at this point, no matter what the next movie is, I'm just going to be happy there's another Star Wars movie. So
pretty much.
I personally want to go into the past, but I will take anything.
And Joel Davis also has the next super chat. If we focus on a Jedi-Sith war of old, I want it to be the last big Jedi-Sith war that left only Bane. Something close to the saga, but still new enough. I think that's a good idea.
I think Darth Bane makes a lot of sense because that kind of leads... It's an entry point for people who have just seen the films, never read the books, and they hear the words Rule of Two, and they know the Sith, and they're like, oh, okay, I know what that is. And you can still do the big lots of Sith versus lots of Jedi story, and also let's explore the origins of the Rule of Two, what it is, what it means.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be great.
I would love that.
I would not expect a retelling of the Darth Bane books, as much as I love them.
Probably not.
I'd be fine to see something new, because I think George Lucas made a lot of notes about Darth Bane. That's where that name comes from, is when he thought about the Rule of Two, he said Darth Bane created it.
Mm-hmm. Continuing on with movie thoughts, Star Wars movie thoughts, Darth Nicholas asks, would a Star Wars movie set 100 years after the sequel trilogy starring a Cade Skywalker-like character interest you? Also, do you want to see the ultra-destructive Yuzong Vong War brought back into canon?
I would be fine with the Yuzong Vong. I think it would be controversial. A lot of people did not like the Yuzong Vong. I really did. It just hit me at the right time.
When in the timeline did the Yuzong Vong show up?
25 years after. It was before the sequel trilogy, but
I think if they're going to
there.
bring Yuzong Vong into canon, it should be pushed back to the before times.
Well, that they were about to bring them into the Clone Wars. They were planning on doing it before the Disney sale. So I think there's potential for the Yuzong Vong. I don't think they're gonna do it. I liked them, but some Star Wars fans didn't. So I'm not really expecting that to
That's always
happen.
gonna be the case.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Some Star Wars fans didn't, and some did.
Remind me who Cade Skywalker is.
So we were talking about the legacy of the Force comics. Cade Skywalker was like Luke's descendant. He was very edgy.
Ooh, a bad boy.
Yeah, he was a bad boy for sure.
Yes, please.
And he basically, I can't remember if they were straight up death sticks, but he did drugs so he would stop seeing Luke's Force ghost. Because Luke kept bugging him to be like, why are you doing this? And he'd be like, go away.
That is some real shit right there. Pardon my language. That is like so close to like real life problems. Like the ghosts of your past have to be pushed down, so you're gonna start doing drugs. That's dark.
Yeah, I think it works more in the comics than it would in a film.
Ooh, that is.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'd want a Cade Skywalker
Now I
as
want to read
character.
this
You'd probably like him.
because it's dark.
That's where
like
Darth Talon comes from.
Oh, sexy time.
Darth Talon, Darth Crate. That's, God, one of the best Lucas stories is when he saw the Darth Talon statue, and there was a Darth Maul statue nearby, and he was like, they're friends. And then he was like, when they were working on a Darth Maul game, he was like, Darth Talon should be in this. And they were like, she's from 150 years in the future. And he's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
And he also...
They look like they would be friends, and she got her boobies out.
He also wanted her to be in The Force Awakens. Like...
Oh, God.
Yeah. George liked Darth Talon. It's funny.
I mean, most men
Who doesn't
probably
like Darth Talon?
Most men probably do, and women, and just people in general.
The legacy of the Force comics in general were just like kind of edgy.
So edgy. Ice, thanks for the next super chat. Saw your video about neurodivergent characters in Star Wars. Didn't expect my chat to spawn such a big discussion on the stream, but glad it's being talked about. Yeah, we wanted to cover it. Even before we did the live stream, we were talking about just how much that meant to a lot of people, and I put out a tweet yesterday morning after watching the episode again, just talking about what falls under the umbrella of neurodivergence and how it can be like so many different things. And it's just really nice to have stuff like that be touched upon in Star Wars, especially in a animated show, which a lot of kids will see.
Yeah. I mean, we touched upon all this last night, but yeah, a bunch of kids seeing Tech, seeing that he's a hero and he's a main character, that they did a lot of good stuff with that episode.
But yeah, so Darth Nicholas in the chat asked, did Tech have Asperger's? They didn't confirm and like say outright that he has this or that, but he's definitely on the spectrum somewhere. Like,
yeah, I think they were.
That was basically the moral of his part of the story for that episode.
I mean, I think that Star Wars tends to use... I don't think they're going to outright say that autism exists in Star Wars, but I think that they are going to make parallels.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Because, I mean, that's what they do in all of Star Wars. They don't outright say certain things, but they make parallels to it so that you can put yourself in that position, or you can put yourself in that story and be able to see yourself in that way.
But I think everything they did with Tech was purposeful.
Oh, yeah. David Kaplan, thanks for the next super chat. Alex, do you wake up every day thankful that you found the perfect woman to share this journey of life with you?
I do. Every day I wake up and I just watch you sleep for like an hour.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, huh?
Every day I wake up and you're snoring and slobbering and...
Nuh-uh.
Mumbling.
That's never once happened. I usually get up and I feed Hilo and Pippin, and then I come back. I just watch you sleep.
No, you go right back to sleep.
No, it's not what happens.
I think, yeah, your first answer was the best one.
Just yes.
Yes. Oranges on Venus, thanks for the next super chat. Was fun, gotta go hop on the Oculus Quest 2 now. Oh, sorry, I didn't see this earlier, or else I would have read it. But yeah, thanks for
hanging out.
And enjoy the Oculus Quest 2. Do we have that one?
No.
We have something.
We have the original Quest, and it hurts my head.
Yeah. I can't do... I don't mind a little VR every now and then, but It does hurt my head, and I don't know, it's just like overstimulating for me.
I got it for the Vader Immortal and the Batu Tales from Wild Space or Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. That's it. Which they're fun, but I don't know, something about the Quest hardware itself hurts my head. The Vive, which I also have, I have a Vive and I haven't played it in 3 years, but that I can keep on for a while. I played Half-Life Alyx with that, and that was great. But something about the Quest 1, hopefully the Quest 2 is better.
Yeah. I think VR is still something that may take a while to really get right. I mean, it's pretty advanced already from how it started out, but
I need to...
tech like that advances so quickly.
I haven't checked to see what's new in VR in a while, but like, it just depends on the game and the developer, because Half-Life Alyx was insane. Like, that felt... I remember
you got real sweaty playing that game.
Yeah. Well, I remember we just built the Tantive V4, and I had it right over there on my piano, and I was like ducking from monsters, and I tried to throw a grenade, and I just punched the Tantive V4, and I was like, oh no!
That's on you for not moving it.
Yeah, I know.
I think I have some videos of you on my phone where I just snuck in here and took video while he was just doing
breathing
this.
heavily and
Yeah, breathing really heavily and like freaking out. I still want to go to one of those VR party rooms.
I do too.
Sometime where you just like go with a big group of people and play VR games in a big open space where you can just run around and be silly.
The Secrets of the Empire one was great.
Yeah.
That we did.
Well, that one was like... That one was very like regimented, and you went through these certain areas. You couldn't just walk free.
Yeah.
But that one, I wonder if that one is still at Disney.
I don't know.
Disney World.
Well, I think they moved it around to a couple places or opened up other areas, so.
Because, yeah, that one was so cool because there were parts where you were on Mustafar and there would like be these gusts of really hot air coming at you, so you felt like you were on a lava planet, and moments where you were looking down and it looked like you were walking across this really narrow edged thing when really you're just on the floor. But me going through the thing, looking down, looking like I'm on
a ledge above lava.
A ledge with no railings above lava. I was like, oh my god, and I was like holding on to people.
You were holding on to me, and I was like looking back at this stormtrooper who's like crouch walking, like, hold my hand, hold my hand.
Oh, but, yeah, because like you went in with other people, and if you looked at them in the VR headset, they were stormtroopers.
Well, the best part about that one was reaching out to grab a lever, and like the lever is there, and you would pull it. If you reached out and touched a droid, you're like, yep, I'm touching a droid. The way that they set it up, I know it's honestly pretty simple to do, all things considered, but it was great.
Apparently Secrets is still there. That's good to know, because I do recommend that anytime I get asked what to do at Disney World. And it's funny because we haven't been to Disney World in years.
Since then.
Since
2018.
Then. Yeah, but we've been to Disneyland a few times, which just so happens because like we would be out there for events and stuff. But we're within driving distance of Disney World. We just don't ever really get a chance to go there. Last time we were in Florida, we went to Universal instead. Like Universal.
Super fun.
Islands of Adventure. Yeah, that was super fun. So hot. Oh my god. I would never go back that time of year, and the only reason why we did was because we were there for an event. We were there for GCX, and then that was in, June or July? Ugh. I've never been so hot in my life. Anyways, I digress. Jacob Smith has the next super chat. If you were a bounty hunter or smuggler in the Star Wars universe, what would your ship of choice be and why? Thanks for being a bright light in the galaxy.
Oh, thanks.
What would your ship of choice be and why?
I always liked the Houndstooth. That looked like it could hold a lot of cargo.
Honestly, and it's not just because we're building it, I like the Razor Crest. It's big, but it's not big enough to where you've just got too much to look after. It's got a toilet.
Refresher.
It's got a refresher. It's got a little room for sleeping, little Grogu room.
I do like that. I mean, something this size, the Falcon size, somewhere that you can lie down. I'm a little worried about Din with his N1. He just doesn't have a place to sleep. But I actually wonder if that's part of the journey.
It's better for him.
Yeah.
Honestly, because now he has to like stop and find Airbnbs.
Yeah. And I think that clip that they released with Din talking to Grief Karga, he's probably like, oh, you need a place to lay your head. Like, come buy this parcel. Mm-hmm. You can live here.
When you're here, you're landed gentry.
Landed gentry. Still don't know what that means. But yeah, something like this, or the Falcon has some living space. The VCX 100 has multiple rooms. I would need somewhere to stretch out.
Yeah. Oh, especially like Lando's Falcon with that sick little wet bar. Ugh, that'd be so cool. A couple people said the slave one, anything that goes really fast, a Stinger Mantis.
Stinger Mantis is nice. I do like Stinger Mantis.
The Outrider, Naboo Starfighter, the Fondor.
Yeah. I think any YT class, it's probably hard to go wrong there.
Ooh, yeah, any of Padme's ships.
Oh, yeah. As a bounty hunter, that's not very...
it's a little flashy.
Yeah.
But hey.
Stinger Mantis is a good choice, though. But that's it's kind of flashy. It's a luxury yacht.
Yeah. Nathan Roberts has the next super chat. Hey, is there any reason why Eno Cordova couldn't be alive during Jedi Survivor? I never saw a body.
I would say there's nothing that says that he is definitely dead. I'm going to assume he is. He kind of made a big deal of like, I sensed the end of the Jedi Order coming, and he locked all of those memories within BD1 until BD1 found a trusted partner. So I think he's probably gone, but yeah, you're right. We didn't see a body. I don't think Seer knows for sure he's gone. Also, I forget the actor's name, but he's a well-known actor, so it would be cool to have him around in Star Wars more.
I'm going to read this real quick. A super chat from Garth McMurray says, the landed gentry is a historical British social class of landowners who could live entirely from rental income, or at least had a country estate.
Okay.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Like,
but Din doesn't want to just retire and live off of rent.
Well, it's like, I don't even think Grief Karga is saying that. But still, it's just anytime someone says, hey, do you want to settle down even a little bit? Din's like, no, I'm a Mandalorian. Don't take my helmet off.
Don't take my helmet off. I showed my face.
I have to go to the living waters.
I have to go apologize.
I gotta go apologize to Mandalore.
Maxim Bortanowski, I hope I said that right. Thank you for the super chat. Not Star Wars related, but have you seen the new Ted Lasso teaser? My heart melted. March can't come any sooner. Also, Shrinking is a solid watch too. We've been watching Shrinking, and it is very good. And the Ted Lasso teaser was cute. It didn't really give us much.
Which I'm glad about.
But it just reminded me that, yeah, I'm ready to get back into Ted Lasso.
It was basically just a date reveal, which I was like, oh god, middle of March. Couldn't have waited until May. Like, I'm glad to have more Ted Lasso. And it'll be nice to have something when we're done with all the Mando talk. We'll get to go watch Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
That's like a nice reward.
Right.
But yeah, really liked the teaser. We caught up on all of Shrinking during the Super Bowl and kept like popping back and forth.
We were watching the Super Bowl, and by that I mean we were watching Shrinking, and then we popped in to watch the halftime show. We did watch a few.
I just kept YouTube refreshing, and I was like, what trailers have dropped?
Yeah, we did watch a few like commercials and stuff, but that was our Super Bowl night.
But yeah, Shrinking is super good.
Another Garth McMurray super chat. Thank you, Garth. Stonehenge, Stratford upon Avon. Did I say that right? Shakespeare and other places are short trips from London and are good day trips.
Stonehenge, I think, would be nice.
Yeah. Visit Sherlock Holmes Museum in London.
Ooh, I like that. That, you just saw, that got a reaction out of us.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
That and Stonehenge would be, I think, worthwhile.
Stonehenge, trips. I definitely would like to do. But Sherlock Holmes Museum, I want to write that down.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Fernando Bush sent a very generous super chat in. Thank you, Fernando. I will go ahead and read it. Oh, I like your little pilot.
Is that Snap?
It looks kind of like Snap. I like your little pilot picture. What do you guys think Thrawn will be up to in the Ahsoka series? Also, do you think Thrawn will be linked to Palpatine's cloning plans somehow?
Thrawn's going to be up to no good. That's what he's going to be up to.
He's going to be creating a ruckus.
That's your new thing. I'm Thrawn and I'm here to cause a ruckus. I can't decide what Thrawn is doing. Like, I don't know if Gideon is in league with Thrawn, if he's like beneath Thrawn, if there's multiple Imperial factions happening. I kind of wonder. I just don't see Thrawn fighting really hard to bring the Emperor back.
No.
I think
he never cared that much about the Emperor, but he might want him back for a specific reason that is more goal-oriented for himself.
Yeah. And it all depends on how far they want to go into his actual character. But if they want to keep it consistent to the books, and even if they don't, Timothy Zahn will find a way to do it after the fact. I think that Thrawn should be more about, I need the Imperial war machine to be around. Like, we need a big fleet because I want to protect the Ascendancy, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really see him being like, we gotta resurrect the Emperor. So I'm kind of wondering if he and Gideon are on different sides of all of this.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they handle Thrawn and Ezra being gone for however long they were gone for, and like, did they just fight the whole time? Did they become friends? Like, it'll be interesting to see if they are really going to lean in on Thrawn being a huge villain, or if they're gonna make us try to understand why he's doing what he's doing and make him not as big of a villain.
I think he's gonna be a villain. I think he's not gonna get, like, I don't think they're gonna get into all the Ascendancy and the Grisk and any of that. But that's just what I think. Why won't this go in here? Why did they make me build all of this before having to... How does this work?
Yeah, I don't know that Thrawn will be super linked to Palpatine's cloning plans, although Thrawn was always really interested in Force stuff. So if they're talking about
what do you mean?
Like, he was always interested in anything revolving the Jedi and the Force, wasn't he?
Well, he more like didn't understand it at all. That's why he keeps getting beaten. So yeah, at this point, that makes sense.
It makes sense that anything he doesn't understand, he wants to know more about. So if they're gonna really lean into the cloning stuff and Mount Tantus stuff in various shows like Mando, they could link Thrawn to that. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. That was a good question. Very excited to see more Thrawn stuff and see where that goes.
Did you see this? Little pram.
He has his own little pram. Ooh, cute.
I am. Are you serious?
You didn't break. You didn't break.
That's twice.
We don't have to.
I can't. You gotta make a new GIF.
No, that was not. Come on, that was not nearly as dramatic as the first one.
Still.
Fernando Bush, thanks for the next super chat. The kid who stole the ship in the latest Bad Batch episode might be Boba Fett. I wondered if anyone else thought the same. So I came here while playing SWTOR and drinking beer, lol. Love the channel and would appreciate SWTOR coverage.
I need to play SWTOR. That is a huge blind spot for me. Like, I know quite a bit of the lore from it. I've read the books surrounding it. I've never actually played it. And I know that there is some great writing in there. I know Alexander Freed wrote some very good stuff. I've had multiple people tell me how great the Imperial spy storyline is. Imperial intelligence officer, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't feel right having such a big blind spot on me for Star Wars.
Yeah.
It just came out at a time where I was like I was not ready for a Star Wars MMO. I was like, I know this will eat up my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the middle of college and I was like, probably shouldn't, and then I just never did.
A lot of people in chat they cannot believe
I can't either.
that I would drop. I barely dropped him. He's okay. He's okay. Post sent a super chat in that just said, thanks for the stream. Thank you, Post.
Thanks, Post.
Happy to do it. I am gonna go take a quick bathroom break.
Okay. Read the next one.
I need to stand up because my hip is hurting and I've been
Aw.
sitting for a bit. Darth Nicholas has the next one. As a follow-up, would a Dawn of the Jedi style movie set circa 25,000 BBY centering on the earliest days of the Jedi, later Jedi, and the gradual emergence of a light side / dark side schism within the Order interest you?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see the Prime Jedi.
I don't think they're going to do the Jedi Order. I remember early on in this channel when I talked about the Jedi Order and someone was like, it's Jedi, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And I was like, this is how YouTube's going to be, huh? Yeah. But yeah, I would love, even if they changed all of that, an origin story for the Jedi Order, I think it would be really cool. I'm trying to think if there's nothing that we don't know much about the origins of the Jedi right now, except for the Prime Jedi. Octo might be the first Jedi Temple. It's kind of in the running for it. I think right now it is, so they could just set the Jedi there instead of like Tython and Ossus and stuff, but both of those planets exist too. So maybe they're gonna start diving more and more into the origins of the Jedi. I think that would be cool. I remember being so excited last year when I was reading Shadow of the Sith and they confirmed Luke's Jedi Temple as Ossus. I just wasn't expecting to learn that, and it was cool. But Scotty Heron has the next one. Thank you, Scotty. Not Star Wars related, but if y'all ended up on the Scrubs podcast as one of their call-in guests, what questions would you ask in what episode? Oh, man. I auditioned for that when it first came out. It wasn't an audition. I just sent in a question. But I tried to get on My Mentor. It's like episode 6 or 7. It's early in season 1, but that's the one that has a Star Wars moment in it. It has Dr. Cox fighting with Dr. Kelso, and then it cuts to a Star Wars flashback. And like, I loved that. I remember jumping up and down when I saw that scene. I would have been freshman year of high school, 2001, 14, I think, when that happened. And I was just so excited to see like my new favorite comedy show referencing my favorite fandom. So I forget what the question was. I think it was probably directed at Donald and just saying something about Star Wars and his love for it, and what was that like for him. Was he excited to do that? But yeah, I did try to get on the call-in show. I tried and failed. But it's okay. I haven't kept up with that podcast, unfortunately. I was trying to do a watch-along with them for a while. But I just didn't keep up with it, unfortunately. We can order something else for dinner. I'll just keep that for lunch. Our next super chat is from Matt Thornton. Thank you, Matt. Bo-Katan is unworthy to wield the Darksaber because she hasn't accepted responsibility for her role in Satine's murder.
Ooh.
We're getting into the real stuff.
Make it about family murder.
I mean, I think that you're right. I don't think Bo-Katan is... If she had been the final wielder of the Darksaber, as we saw in Star Wars Rebels, I would have been okay with it. But now that we're exploring that more, I'm also okay to acknowledge that, yeah, hey, Bo, you did some bad stuff. And we should talk about that before we just hand you the Darksaber.
Yeah. And like, this came up a little bit in, sorry, the Force Center episode I was listening to where they're talking about the Mando news. Like, the fact that Bo-Katan has swung from side to side, like Death Watch, and then going to like warning Sabine about stuff that she's done in the past, how it didn't work, and now going back to that Darksaber belongs to me, and like, where is she at mentally? That's honestly, I might be the most excited for Bo-Katan's story in season 3 of Mandalorian.
I love that the marketing so far has been very Bo-Katan centric. Like that Empire magazine, the cover is Din Djarin, Grogu, and Bo-Katan.
Yeah, she's
like,
right up there with him.
And it's so just for like personal reasons and how much we loved Battlestar. Like, it's so fun to see.
I'm getting like literal chills just thinking about.
I see them. Look at you.
Bo-Katan's story in all of this, because I don't want her to be just the bad guy.
I don't think she will be.
I want her to be like, her and Din should be friends, and they should like take control of Mandalore together and figure out how to do all of this together.
Yeah.
And not swing in any one direction. Figure out how to do it in a completely new way.
Well, that's like when I was just doing my rewatch for The Mandalorian to do the Everything I Love About Season 1 and Season 2 videos. Season 2 comes out Monday. But when I got to the Season 2 finale, and there's that scene where Din comes in with Boba Fett and finds Bo-Katan and Casca Reeves, and there's 4 Mandalorians in there, and there's 3 different philosophies of what it means to be a Mandalorian. The first time Din saw Bo-Katan take off her helmet, he was like, "You're not Mandalorian." And the first time
Like
Bo-Katan...
a little brat.
Yeah. The first time Bo-Katan hears Boba Fett's voice, she goes, "You're not a Mandalorian."
Well, she knows who he is, and is probably...
I don't know. I mean, she knows he's a clone.
She's had to have heard tales of Boba Fett, the bounty hunter.
I'm sure, but still, like...
And all the bad things that he's done.
oh, and she's some angel.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's a complicated thing.
And that's my point, is that there's like 3 people all pointing the finger going like, you're not a Mandalorian, you're not a Mandalorian, you're not a Mandalorian. And they all need to just be like, hey, maybe there's not one way to do this. Maybe
Grogu's the only real Mandalorian.
Who?
Grogu.
Grogu? Yeah. He will unite them all. Give him the Darksaber. But yeah, I love that scene where they're all just fighting, and then Bo-Katan is the one to say, like, if we showed this much spine back then, we wouldn't have lost our homeworld.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is the journey, and I love that journey for Bo-Katan.
Love that for her.
That she was like, I need the Darksaber so I can lead, so I can unite our people and we can reclaim our world. But now she can still do all that, but she might not get all the glory. So
Right.
like I think that's a really great story for her to be like, no, I will support Din Djarin eventually. I think they're gonna be in conflict for a while, but
She probably thinks that she is the one that knows best for this journey. Like, she probably is telling herself, like, I've been through it all when it comes to Mandalore and the Darksaber and my family's history and blah blah blah. Like, she probably thinks that no one can do this correctly except for her, but she's gonna learn in season 3 that that is not the case.
yeah, it totally makes sense that she'd be like, I had the Darksaber before. I'm part of the Kryze clan. Like, there are many reasons that she should feel that right, but I look forward to her overcoming that, I assume, and being like, no, Din is the one. Because I think that's the story of this foundling who joined a cult on accident, not his fault. Foundling joined a cult, became a lowly bounty hunter. In the very first episode, he's like, he's just doing this grunt work. In episode 2, he's covered in mud. Like, this is not who he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be Mandalore. Like, that's such a great Star Wars story.
Indeed. What do you feel like for dinner?
Pizza, Chinese, I don't care. I'll eat anything.
I'll browse around Uber Eats while we
Do you want me to
Chat
open
about
another bag, or
this next one. We got quite a few
let me see how big it
questions
is?
left. Also, IGN put out another Survivor tweet. Get a rundown on the 5 different lightsaber stances you'll use in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, from single-bladed to dual blades, even to the new blaster stance.
I already did a video on that, so.
Oh.
They talked about that a while ago, but not much about the blaster stance, so that is new.
Yeah. All right. Ice has the next super chat here. This week just made me want to give Omega a big hug. It was hard to see her so upset and angry, but I love that she's finding a way to work through it. Same. It was hard to see her wanting so badly to just talk about her feelings openly and be reassured and like have the rest of her family be able to also talk openly about their feelings, but it's not always that simple.
The more I think about it, like, I feel even guilty about saying the episode was fine in my initial review, because the more I think about it, I'm like,
This was such a good one.
it was really good. And, you know, it's always that battle when you're a fan of something to push down that, like, oh, but what I wanted was for you to do this, and you didn't do that, and I'm a little disappointed. But then to, like Force Center always says, engage with what they gave you, like the actual story, and you just have a better time.
Yeah.
And the more that we talked about it before the stream, during the stream, still now, I'm like, yeah, it was a really good Star Wars story.
Yeah. What do you think? Thai, but not the Thai we got last time.
Oh, okay.
The sweet basil Thai that's close, or Chinese?
Either one. Whatever you feel like.
Okay.
You know what I want either way. Like, I mean, depending on if it's Thai, I want Penang. If it's...
Well, this is the place that doesn't do the same Penang as...
Boo.
Okay.
I'm going to go refill.
Okay. I hope y'all are enjoying our very casual dinner talk, because I did pre-cook a bunch of chicken, but it just got like overcooked and it got really dry. Anyways. Darth Nicholas has the next super chat here. Whatever happened to the very last clone infants? I'd like to assume they were evacuated from Kamino and raised as future Imperial Special Forces and stormtroopers, with a few officers in the mix. During Mando, they'd look 56. I have had this same thought, that like there was probably a batch of clones still being trained and taught as kids, and I hate to really think about what happened to them. Like, I hope that Nala Se maybe sent them away somewhere safe and was like, no, those are kids, get them out of here. But I don't know. What do you guys think happened to them? Like, I think they had to have been taken somewhere, or yeah, maybe they were taken in by the Empire and trained as stormtroopers, which is still sad. And yeah, during Mando they'd look 56. It's possible. They went on a camping trip, yeah. Talking about the kids on Kamino that were still training the clone.
I heard you say they went on a camping trip. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they went. They went to a farm.
I was saying that maybe Nala Se sent them all somewhere safe, because they're just kids.
I think they're out there somewhere. They're part of clone kind. Like, that feels like something the show could explore.
Yeah. That would have been cute to have, like, Omega figure out where they were and go, like, talk to them. Be a friend. Ice has the next super chat here. They finally called back to Infested and Faster. I've said since the start they were going to figure into whatever story they did with Sid.
Yeah, Infested was like the one episode in season 1 that I was like, I don't know what this is for. I said the same thing, but you know, the way I think you even brought it up, Ice, talking about the Purrgil in Star Wars Rebels, I was like, there's a reason, we just can't see it yet. And yes, the reason is 2 times the Bad Batch has helped Sid, and Sid refuses to help them. So yeah, it was a good callback to that.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Gorski sent a super chat in, but I don't see a message. So if you're still here, let me know in the chat if you have a message, and I will try and keep an eye out for it. But thank you. Ice with the next super chat here. We were supposed to see them help for Sid. We were supposed to see them help for Sid, so when the time came for her to return the favor, her decision one way or another would carry weight. I think next week will be the moment of truth for Sid. Could be. Yeah, she kind of like left them hanging. Like, she just hung up on them.
Yeah, they're like in the middle of saying, we need food, and then she just hangs up. I need stickers. 10 and 11. And I bet 12 and 13 are on their way. So let me check. Actually,
I hope that Sid gets some redemption, but I'm still waiting for the moment where we get a character that's bad and they stay bad. Like, I think Omega needs to see that. But it's
just
Star Wars.
Yeah, most but it's Star Wars. Most characters in Star Wars get that redemption.
Get redemption. Get that redemption.
Put 1 and 2.
Those look real skinny.
Hold on. Yeah, they go on like one side. I'm just giving you a bunch of stickers at once.
I'm trying to order dinner.
Okay, then you can wait.
Okay.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting to see how well you line this up. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Did I?
Really good, yeah. Because they kind of... yeah.
Nice.
Good job.
I'm good at stickers. What can I say?
I'm pretty good at stickers. Kind of the best at stickers.
I'm kind of the best. Dan Ben has the next super chat. Why did Echo Base have additional passages and bridges?
This sounds like the setup of a joke. I don't know why.
I don't know.
What's the question?
Why did Echo Base have additional passages and bridges?
Because they needed to walk around in it?
Maybe they're talking about... Well, I don't know what they're talking about.
If you can put some clarification in the chat, that would be helpful. 'Cause I don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Dan
Also,
Ben,
I
if
dropped
you're
a whole piece.
still here, we could use some clarification on your question. Someone in chat said to get to the other side.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Basically, yeah, it does feel like a joke.
Garth McMurray sent a super chat in and said, "Now we need a Forlom and Zuckus Ruckus t-shirt."
Zuckus Ruckus is that's a good catchphrase. Yeah. I'm Zuckus and I'm here to cause a ruckus.
Yeah.
That's
my new catchphrase.
Mollie's been talking about ruckuses since The Last of Us, because you already dropped the S-bomb, so I'll do it. Mollie didn't want to say that Kathleen in The Last of Us was here to start some shit. So instead she was like, she's here to start a ruckus.
A ruckus.
I don't like, if we're talking about an R-rated TV show, M-rated, whatever, if it's on HBO, I think you're allowed to swear. But the fact that there you went with a ruckus.
It's hard for me to keep up because we do so many streams and I don't know which one, because the POV streams now, we can curse, it's not a big deal. But these streams, we still try to keep it PG, so I don't know.
PG-13.
PG-13, yeah.
And they drop a couple S-bombs. They're allowed one F-bomb, so... I figure if Star Wars is rated PG-13, then that's what we'll... But if we do live streams about the Young Jedi adventures, we should probably keep it very G.
Dan Ben says, talking about why the it was additionally more expensive also in video games / maps.
I still don't understand. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Video games and maps for Echo Base. That's just a video game thing.
Okay, so maybe like why in the video games there are a lot of passages that just kind of go in a loop, they go nowhere.
That's
maybe
just
that's
a video game thing.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to wander.
Or in Shadows of the Empire, there's like a big hangar that just has a catwalk on it so that Dash Rendar can jump up and fight an ATST.
Yeah.
Yeah, like... there's another. Additional passages with wires taped on them. I wondered why they needed all that space. I guess because they could make it. I don't know. They
have a lot of space, so they're gonna take up a lot of space.
There was one rebel that had like the ice digger, and he just went to town, and he was like, "Look at all these hallways," and Leia was like, "We don't need all of this.
We don't need all of this." That's a good point.
Well, okay. Maybe. So they were only there for like 3 months. But I'm sure they were hoping to be there for a long time. So they were probably just being very optimistic and saying, like, we got to carve out a lot of space. So.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'll go with that.
Sorry, I'm trying to order dinner, doing a million things at once, but
A million things.
I'm doing it. I got it.
Look at you go.
All right, gonna move on to Nathan Roberts with their next super chat. I'm baffled by the Thrawn and Ezra factor. I wonder how they'll make those 10 years feel significant without showing us. I always thought that they were gonna. This might be kind of a cop-out, but I always thought that they were gonna be like, oh, time worked differently, and it was actually only like a couple of days.
No, I think a lot of time's going to have passed. And I agree. Like, a lot of the people who are watching this show aren't going to know about Thrawn and Ezra beforehand. They won't have watched Star Wars Rebels. So they don't really need to make, within the context of the show, they don't need to make that all feel significant for the newcomers. It's more for us, which, yeah, I am curious about, and I want it to feel significant.
All right, food's ordered. What do I need to sticker?
Oh, put these two, same thing on those.
What about these?
We'll get to those soon.
Okay.
I just figured we'll do that. Ezra and Thrawn. It's kind of, we talked about how people who haven't seen the Clone Wars or animation or anything, they're watching The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. They still don't know that Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan unless they go watch the Clone Wars or go online and read or watch videos about who Ahsoka is, which I hope they do. But if someone just watched the show and they were like, oh, Ahsoka is a Jedi, there are clues for sure that she has some familiarity with Anakin and Luke, but I'm expecting them to do Thrawn and Ezra the same way. Mm-hmm. They're going to give us the basics, and if people want to go learn more for themselves, they will. But I really do want to know what happened in those 9 years. Like, they've been gone for so long, so what happened? And I don't think they're going to cover it in the show.
They probably wrote their own musical.
I hope so. That'd be great.
That's another callback to the Q&A
Yeah.
for Saturday. Ryan Gorski was the super chat earlier that didn't have a message, so maybe this was one that they sent in with the message. So thank you, Ryan. Sorry I didn't see this sooner. How many Star Wars Lego sets do you guys have? I have been following the channel since at least 2018. Well, thank you for being a loyal watcher of the channel. I honestly couldn't tell you how many Lego sets we have.
I don't
Star
know
Wars
either.
Lego sets. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just in this room.
Does each helmet count?
Yeah, that's an individual
4,
set.
5, 6.
Did you count the lightsaber there?
7.
Did you count that?
I haven't gotten there yet. 8.
Did you count that?
9. 10. 11. 12. 13 including this one. So there's at least 13 here.
In this room, yeah. Like,
there's probably like 20 more throughout the house.
At least. 20 is a lowball guess. There's a bunch downstairs. There's a bunch in my closet. There's a bunch that are unbuilt from my child. Nope, I rebuilt those. There's a bunch that are probably halfway built because I put them back in my closet. They probably fell apart. But in 2019, Lego gave us a bunch of the 20th anniversary sets because Lego Star Wars became a thing in 99. So I had a bunch of those original sets and they remade them. So I made the new ones and then I made the original ones to compare them. We have a ton. I don't even... 50?
Easily. Maybe one day when we're not actively covering a weekly show, we can do a vlog or something and talk about all of the sets that we have around the house.
Just walk around the house and be like, oh yeah, and there's this one, and this one, and here's another one I found.
Lindsay Brown has the next super chat. Thank you, Lindsay. What if they go to Mount Tantus and it's a cloning facility and they open a door and it's a nursery of Grogus, like 20 of them, even smaller.
Even smaller. Mollie, thoughts?
I mean, my first thought is like, that would break me. But that would also break a lot of people. I think that would be like, okay, that's enough. Like, it doesn't make him special anymore if there's a bunch of him.
I think that's a good point.
So, I don't want that. It would push me over the edge, I think. Garth McMurray with another super chat. Speaking of sitcoms and Star Wars, have you watched the Community Paintball episode where Abed is Han Solo and Troy, Donald Glover, is Lando versus Stormtroopers?
Yes, many times. I love Community.
That is such a great episode, the paintball ones.
I love when Abed stands up and declares himself Han Solo. He's like, I want to call Han Solo before Jeff falls into it by default, I think he says.
Because Jeff is just like the cool guy persona of everything. That is... If you haven't seen Community, just go and watch the first paintball episode. It's great.
No, that's the second paintball episode.
But watch the first one.
Oh, yeah, watch that one too. That was the first... Like, I liked Community, the show. That was a weird show for me in season 1. Looking back at it now, I'm like, okay, I just get it more. But I remember watching season 1 and being like, man, I don't know exactly what this show is, but there's always some really good, funny jokes in it that keep me coming back.
Dan Harmon is just really funny.
And then when they hit the paintball episode, I was like, okay, that's awesome.
This is relevant for today, I think. I think this came out today, maybe yesterday. I don't remember what happens on days anymore. Ice, thanks for another super chat. Did you see the big guy in Jedi Survivor was confirmed to be a Jendai? That excites me and terrifies me. Dude will be an absolute pain in boss fights. Yeah, he'll be like Vader. You just have to get away from him.
Like, I do think we will have to defeat him. Or maybe he joins your side. Like, it was interesting reading about him. First of all, I was happy to have that confirmed. Because I did a video on that, and I was like, you should be afraid of this guy, because I think he's a Jendai. Real quick, put sticker number 1. It needs to kind of go, like that, and put it on this edge, the top edge.
Like this? Down?
Just like that. Move it there. Keep it on that top edge.
What top edge?
The top edge of this.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
I'm gonna watch you.
You were saying top and it was side for me.
The top side.
This part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were talking about that character. I forget, Ravis, I think they said his name was. And he's like, he might be 1,000 years old. We don't know, because that species is basically immortal.
Same for this one?
Wait on that one.
Okay.
So fighting him, it's like, they even say like a lightsaber slash is not going to do anything to him. So either boss fights against him are going to be impossible to win, or you're going to have to find some really fun, creative way to kill him. Or they talked about how he's kind of chivalrous in his own mind. Like, I think he's a villain, but he might be someone that can be won over and could join you. So I'm like, all right.
Or maybe he'll just feel guilty that you're trying to kill him, and he's like, ha ha ha.
That's adorable.
Yeah. What is a Jendai? People are asking. There's a video on the channel about it. Go watch it. I just posted I think I posted about it this morning on the community tab. A link to that video.
Yeah. A Jendai is what dirge is from the 2D Clone Wars series, they are...
I just said go watch the video.
Yeah, I know. They can watch it or they can stay here. It's either... like they're effectively immortal. They're made up of, like, tendrils and muscles, and, like, they have faces and stuff, but they can fall apart and reform. They're just very, very hard to kill.
Yeah.
And Dirge is canon. The Dr. Afro comics made him canon, which was cool.
Chazertron 5000 said, Holdo maneuver them into a sun? Maybe?
Well, that's how they killed him in the comics. In the Legends comics, they launch him into a sun.
Yeah. It's like Superman.
I think Anakin does
that. Fernando Bush has another super chat here. Everyone on SWTOR would love to have you both on board. It's never too late to start. Timothy Zahn also helped writing a chapter featuring Chiss in the game. Graphics are old, but the story is gold.
Oh,
love that.
I like that. Graphics are old, stories gold.
I like that Timothy Zahn got in on it and got to write a little bit of it. That's cool.
That was fairly recent. It wasn't that long ago, because I do remember every time I hear about SWTOR, I'm like, that sounds cool. The most recent cinematic that happened was done by our friend Alex, who, like, he couldn't talk about it for the longest time. When it finally came out, he messaged me and he was like, I did that. And it was like he and someone else wrote it.
Yeah.
And that was super cool. And that made me feel guilty that I've not played the game yet.
Garth McMurray has another super chat here. If Bad Batch were a band, Echo would play the bass.
Okay.
Okay. I said in a not a super recent Q&A, but in some Q&A that Echo could be a one-man band.
Oh yeah, yeah, you did say that.
Because he could hook up an electric guitar to himself, and he could have the drum set on the back and like a little tambourine.
He's made out of gadgets, so
yeah, he could do it all. But I like bass for him too.
What do you think Wrecker would be?
Wrecker feels like a drummer.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Wrecker drummer. Tech would be keyboard. Hunter would be guitarist, lead vocals.
I like that you've made Tech a keyboardist.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
'Cause that's what I play.
Ice with another super chat. Anakin had to launch Dirge into a freaking into a freaking sun to kill him in Legends. The heck are we meant to do? To be honest, though, I'm looking forward to facing off with him. Yeah, that will make things interesting to be like, this is practically an unkillable species, but you still have to fight them.
It's such a perfect video game boss that I hope you fight him multiple times, and it's just like, gotta get away, survive as long as you can. I think that'll be super fun.
Oh, what's an echo base?
The Hoth
echo base.
What's an echo base? The Hoth base.
We didn't get the joke. Echo bass. Echo playing the bass.
Oh. Okay.
Garth sent another super chat and said, I'm bummed you didn't get my goofy echo bass
no,
joke. We're just losing our minds. It's okay. I said it out loud. I really did. It just didn't click. It's been a long day.
No, our instinct is to just go straight to like lore and stuff.
Right.
That's funny.
We got there. Thanks to you.
We got there when you told us.
I can't be the only one that was like, yeah, Echo plays the bass.
No,
sure.
I was like, yeah, sure. I think you'd be great at it.
I think it was because I had said all that stuff previously about him being a one-man band, so I was kind of thinking about that as soon as I read it. Anyways, yeah, crickets chirping. Darth Nicholas with another super chat here. Now I can imagine the last clone babies from the Bad Batch being removed from their tubes just prior to the destruction of Tipoca City and being sent to Mount Tantus, the place where last-gen clones received their military training.
Probably. I mean, like, I'm still waiting for Mount Tantus to pop back up. That's such the biggest tease at the end of season 1 that they didn't even call it Mount Tantus. We had to see it on the episode guide afterwards, where everyone was kind of like, is that what I think it is? And then they just, I don't even think on the episode guide they called it Mount Tantus, but they did label the planet Wayland, and everyone's like, that's freaking Mount Tantus. Like, they're doing it.
They just named the planet.
Yeah, the planet's named Wayland. And so Legends fans were like, oh my god.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Oh my god, it's happening.
I just don't like thinking about little test tube babies having to be sent somewhere for military training. That is sad to me. So I'm not going to think about it.
Okay.
I still have more stickers over here, or one more sticker I need to
I'm
put.
gonna send that to you shortly.
And then Scotty Heron has the next super chat. The original X-Wing Lego set is still my favorite.
I had that one.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. I never throw away my Legos or my instruction booklets.
Where is it?
In my closet.
Why are all the good sets in your closet?
Well, this X-Wing is better.
Oh.
I like this. Well, this one came with Biggs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, we are all caught up. Where are you at over there?
I mean, I have half a bag left that I could wrap up and try to do that quick.
Yeah. I don't think we have an ETA on our food yet,
okay.
So.
Then I will.
8:35.
I'll do the other half of this.
If you can build that before our food gets here, you will get a high five from me.
Okay, what time is it?
8:17.
18 minutes? No problem. No pieces missed. And then we'll watch Poker Face.
Is there a new one out?
Tonight, yeah.
Yes.
If you're not watching Poker Face, it's awesome. I've really been enjoying that.
Oh, MC Lego Boy says original X-Wing also came with Biggs.
That's right. Oh, yeah. It was this one.
How could you forget?
I don't know.
Look at his little face.
Okay, well, this one you can make Red 3.
Look at his tiny little mustache. That's so cute.
I love the multiple versions. But this one you can put the Red 3 markings on. I don't think you could do that for the old one.
Yeah, this one he has eyebrows. And his mustache looks way better. And his chest plate looks better. He's got all the little tubes going down his pants. And he's got a back. A back sticker.
A back sticker.
And
Yeah,
he's got
minifigs
the
have come a
visor.
long way.
Oh, but I kind of like the cute old minifigs.
I kind of miss when they were just the yellow faces, the simplistic. Like, there is a part of me that misses that.
I think when they started doing Lego animated shorts, they started changing them, and then they were like, well, now we have to print them that way.
To jump back to Community, there's an episode where Michael K. Williams is their biology teacher, and he's been in prison for a while, and he just goes like, can I talk about something different? What happened to Legos? They used to be simple. A city, a fire truck, a helicopter. Now it's Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. What happened?
What happened to Legos? Brian Ferreira has the next super chat. Anyone familiar with the 1969 movie The Wild Bunch about a group of outlaws in the waning day of the Wild West? Possible inspiration for the Bad Batch? Spoiler, the movie doesn't end well for the bunch.
I haven't seen it. But it makes sense that it would serve as some inspiration. Just Star Wars took inspiration from samurai and westerns. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if that were true.
Garth McMurray said the Wild Bunch is very violent. Oh my. Well, most movies in the late 60s, especially westerns, were pretty violent.
I've not seen enough westerns.
I feel like I was not forced to watch them, but like my dad would always watch them when I was little, and they would always be on TV. And as a little kid, as a little girl, I should specify, I was quite bored with the westerns that he would watch. And so, I don't know, I don't have super fond memories of westerns growing up, just because I felt like I would have rather been watching Sesame Street or like anything else but a western, because I was probably too young to even understand it. But
Do you have a favorite?
A favorite western?
Yeah. Just like today, do you have... Because I would say 3:10 to Yuma I really liked, but that's a fairly modern western. And I know there was an original, but I've only seen the Russell Crowe, Christian Bale one.
Yeah. There's one that I do remember liking, and I can't remember the name of it now. So
I have seen like The Searchers, which really, really heavily influenced Star Wars. I've seen Unforgiven. I've seen Tombstone.
Tombstone was good. It's so long.
It is long. Val Kilmer's great in it. So is Michael Biehn, who was in Star Wars. So good for him.
I did like The Hateful Eight, but that one takes mostly place in the same area.
Django Unchained counts as a western. I liked that a lot.
Let's see. There's one that is in my head, and I can't think of the name of it. No Country for Old Men. Is that considered a western?
No.
Google says it is.
Is it? I mean, like, I'm thinking actual 1800s. Back to the Future 3.
This says Solo is a western.
No. I mean, like, I get it. It's inspired by westerns. I don't think it's a western. And that's what I would say is true for No Country for Old Men as well.
Is There Will Be Blood a western?
No. I don't know. Like, it kind of takes place in that era, but it doesn't feel like a western to me.
Never seen The Great Train Robbery. I don't think.
Is that from like the early 1900s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. That one was... if it's the one I'm thinking of, there's a point in the movie where someone points a gun directly at the camera and people in the theater freaked out.
Oh,
because they were like, we've never seen like moving pictures like this before.
Blazing Saddles.
I haven't seen that.
That's a good one.
But that's another Mel Brooks.
I wish I can like see the cover of the VHS tape.
Jeremiah Johnson.
Yes.
I know your dad had that one.
Yeah. He built his own cabin. That was impressive.
That's where that gif is from.
Yes. Okay.
The nodding gif.
Yes. Jeremiah Johnson. I don't know
funny.
why. You're right. My dad owned that one on VHS and watched it regularly, so that one does stick out in my mind.
Just gotta ask me. Just gotta tell me you're trying to think of the DVD cover, and I was like, oh, Jeremiah Johnson. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know in chat if you've seen Jeremiah Johnson. Because it's a good one.
It's Robert Redford.
Yes. Andrew711, thanks for the next super chat. In the Book of Boba Fett, how did the mayor know where Mando was getting help from? Theories, ideas? He had informants? Maybe?
At what part? It's been over a year since we've seen it. Now I'm trying to remember. He knew he was getting help. Put this sticker on the top edge, like that.
Okay.
Still on the top edge. I don't know the exact context of this question.
Yeah, but I don't remember a whole lot about the mayor. But
It was the Ithorian guy.
Yeah. Well, he had those, like, mercenaries working for him, so
Yeah.
maybe they were spying on Mando.
Well, I'm trying to remember. What was the question? How did the mayor know where Boba Fett was getting help from?
In the Book of Boba Fett, how did the mayor know where Mando was getting help from? Where was Mando getting help from?
Mando was getting help from. Where Boba was getting help from? I don't know. I need more context.
Yeah.
Andrew, if you're here.
Reading it another time, I'm like, I don't know that I understand the question. But if you're still in chat, let us know. Chazertron 5000 has a super chat here for Visions 2. Have you guys had a chance to check out any animations from the studios you were least familiar with? Recommendations? ? Love Cartoon Saloon. Not yet.
Not yet, but Wolfwalkers is the first thing I want to watch.
Yeah, that's the one that I think the most people have told us to check out.
Which is Cartoon Saloon.
I actually haven't seen very many Wallace and Gromit skits, so I probably need to brush up on those. But yeah, some of the lesser known studios I'm excited to look into and see what else they've done.
I want to watch Primal. I'm like more familiar with Tartakovsky, but I still have heard good things about Primal, so I want to see that. But no, we haven't had a chance to watch anything yet. And I don't know that we're going to. Like, we need to just make time because we're about to hit Mando season. And
as long as we do it before May 4th.
Right.
Like a while before.
Uh-huh. When are we going to do that?
I don't know.
Because Mando starts in 2 weeks.
I don't know.
And that's going to take us all the way to May 4th. Just about.
We don't have any plans this weekend yet, so maybe that's our weekend plans. But probably not, because
just sit and watch cartoons.
We do that during the week. We have to try to get out of the house on the weekends, or else we'll go crazy. Remember to watch Primal day by day, because the screaming will give you a headache. Oh my.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z kind of thing where they're just yelling all the time.
Yeah. Scotty Heron sent a super chat in and said, speaking of Westerns, the English is fantastic.
I've never heard of that one.
I think I saw it on one of the lists that I was just looking through, but no, I don't. Doesn't ring a bell.
Lists of what? Oh, just of Western movies.
Westerns. I was trying to find Jeremiah Johnson, which didn't appear to be on the top 50, according to Hulu, so boo. Darth Nicholas, thanks for another super chat. Speaking of Westerns, I find it so cool that John Wayne's grandson is one of Pedro/Din Djarin's stunt doubles.
Yeah, that's really cool.
He was at Celebration, like up on stage.
Yeah,
and he had the cool cowboy hat and everything.
I really like that they gave Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder the spotlight on Celebration stage to be like, yes, Pedro is in the voice. Yes, he is sometimes in the suit. But Lateef Crowder does all of the combat. Brendan Wayne, I think, does most of Mando. Like,
yeah.
Most of what we see up there is Brendan Wayne and then Din comes, or Pedro comes in and does the voice afterwards.
Same for Bo-Katan.
Oh yeah.
Katie Sackhoff recently said in one of the Empire interviews that like 6 different women can be Bo-Katan at any given moment,
depending on like what the move is.
Yeah, doing all the stunts and everything. But she did say that she does the knee slides.
Yeah, because she likes knee slides. That
I
was
mean,
funny.
who doesn't?
On these knees? No, thank you.
My knees. And Garth McMurray has another super chat. Wallace and Gromit's A Grand Day Out is a rocket to the moon and a droid. You need to at least see that Aardman short. Oh, that sounds cute.
They all look cute. I know I've seen some of them, but I don't know which ones.
We're definitely gonna look into those.
I've seen some other stuff from Aardman as well.
Zerellin's Eye, thanks for the last super chat of the night here. Hi, huge fan of the channel. Would like to ask you your favorite Star Wars novels are Legends or canon. Thanks, and may the Force be with you. Love from the Philippines.
I'll give you both. We can go back and forth. You go first. Just name one that you love.
Favorite. So I really like. Okay, so as of late, I really liked Shadow of the Sith. That's one of the more recent ones. And for an old one that's canon, I still talk about Phasma and how much I loved it. It was just such a different story for Star Wars.
Phasma's great, yeah. And Shadow of the Sith, too, felt like an old Legends book.
Yeah.
Kind of filling in gaps.
Any canon novel by Delilah Dawson, honestly, those are some of my favorite books.
I was shocked at how much I liked Black Spire. I wouldn't call it one of my favorites, but she ran me through the ringer with that one. I gave her a talking to at Dragon Con. It's like, how dare you do this? My favorites are Lost Stars is like one of my go-to recommendations. If it's your first Star Wars book, read Lost Stars. It'll ease you in. Anything by Claudia Gray is great. Light of the Jedi is probably Light of the Jedi and Rising Storm I still have kind of tied, but you need to start with Light of the Jedi if you want to do the High Republic, and it's great. The original Thrawn book in canon, just called Thrawn, I really loved that one. Jumping into Legends, like the Thrawn trilogy, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, Last Command, those are just essentials. The Darth Bane trilogy is fantastic. Darth Plagueis is amazing. The X-Wing books are some of my favorite Star Wars books. What else?
I think that's probably enough to start with.
Were they asking for a starting off list or just favorites?
Just what your favorite Star Wars novels are. Legends and canon.
I think X-Wing Rogue Squadron might be the Star Wars novel I have the most fond memories of. Like, yeah. I remember reading that in 4th or 5th grade and being like, oh my god. I think I love pilots.
I think I like Star Wars pilots a lot. I'm having so many feelings.
Yeah. Accurate, yeah.
That is going to do it for us tonight, guys.
Oh, the Alphabet Squadron trilogy. Those two. For the same reason. Yep.
Same reason. Pilots. It is 8:33. Our food should be here soon. We've been going long on these LEGO streams for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it's been fun.
You owe me a high five.
Oh. For what? Oh, for finishing this before.
For how quickly she forgets.
Oh, Chazertron 5000 said, Alex, did you ever find that fan fiction at your parents' house?
No.
I didn't. Well,
A, I haven't looked for it.
I don't think you even looked for it.
B, I don't think they have it. I don't know that I kept it.
He's gonna continue to not look for it.
I don't know where to look for it. I don't think if I brought it up to them, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" They wouldn't.
They keep a lot of stuff though.
Yeah, but I didn't. I wrote like 2 or 3 pages. I don't think that was worth keeping. It was not worth keeping. I'll say that. I don't even know if they know it exists. So it's probably in the garbage somewhere.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. Ancient Alex texts. Yeah.
The sacred Alex texts.
The sacred Alex texts. They're lost to
I think they're lost to time.
To time. But maybe one day we'll recreate them. Anywho, that's gonna do it for us. We've been going for a while and need some food. So thank you guys so much for hanging out for so long and just hanging out in general. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in super chats. We could not do our jobs, let alone these live streams, without you guys. So it really means a lot. Thank you so much. We'll be back for more live streaming next week. Be back here Wednesday and Thursday talking Bad Batch and Lego stuff.
I don't know how this is supposed to go.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks again, everybody. We're gonna go. Bye.